She stood on my porch in broad daylight, tapping her clipboard like a judge delivering a sentence. As part of your new homeowner's duties, the HOA has voted that you must dig a new well for the community garden. What? A well? On my property? I blinked, stunned, not from the heat, but from the sheer arrogance dripping off her voice like melting plastic. Karen, a queen bee of the Ridgefield, Grove, Hoas, and asking. She was commanding. My wife, still holding a box from our move, stared at her like she was hearing Martian. But we just got here. I managed my voice tight. Shouldn't this go to a vote? Karen gave a condescending laugh, one of those high-pitched, you poor fool chuckles that grated like a spoon in a blender. It was voted on. You weren't here yet, so your vote doesn't count. Rules are rules. I should have slammed the door. I should have told her to take her clipboard and shove it. But I didn't. I played along for now. Over the next few days, I watched the neighborhood transform. Smiles vanished when Karen walked by. Dogs went silent. Windows snapped shut like eyelids avoiding trouble. It didn't take long to realize this wasn't just a neighborhood. It was her kingdom. And I was her newest peasant. The well took 3 weeks. I hired a local crew, gave them lemonade, and every time Karen came out barking about regulation depth or aesthetic distance from the rose trellis, I bit my tongue until it bled. She even had the nerve to stand on my lawn, sipping a wine cooler, telling the workers where to park. This is going to look so charming in the HOA newsletter, she chirped, snapping pictures. Oh, I smiled. But inside, I was planning. What Karen didn't know what none of them knew was that I wasn't just some quiet new guy. I was a certified civil engineer with 15 years of hydrology experience. You wanted a well? Fine. But I wasn't digging it for your tomatoes, lady. I made it deeper, stronger. I installed a submersible pump that could push 12,000 gallons an hour camouflaged in a decorative rock casing, of course. I even installed a separate line running beneath the shared hedgerow, carefully angled, right into Karen's backyard. She had a koi pond, a manicured lawn, a gazebo with fairy lights. All of it sat in a slight depression. A natural bowl. Perfect. Then came the day. I waited until the first HOA garden gala, when Karen was prancing around in her straw hat, showing off the kale and taking credit for the well. She even gave a speech, God help me, something about good neighbors making personal sacrifices. Oh, really? I turned the pump on. It started slow, just a subtle soggy squish under her hydrangeas. Then the koi pond overflowed. The lawn glistened with a sudden film of water. By the time she noticed, the water was creeping up her patio stairs like a silent monster. Shoes splashing, she shrieked. What's happening? Who did this? I walked over calmly, holding a lemonade. Seems like the well's working beautifully, I said. Hydrology's a funny thing. She gaped at me like I'd grown horns. You did this. You weaponized the well. No, I replied, sipping my drink. You forced a private homeowner to install infrastructure without compensation or consent. The overflow is a natural consequence of improper drainage planning. Karen screamed something about a lawsuit. I smiled wider. You'll want to be careful with that. You made me sign an HOA compliance waiver that grants shared community usage, but also indemnifies me of liability. Clause 9. Paragraph 3. Remember? Her face turned the color of undercooked chicken. It only got worse. That evening, the county inspector who happened to be my college roommate dropped by for a friendly check-in. Seemed someone had filed a complaint about unpermitted alterations to my lot. But after examining the documents, he turned to Karen and asked her for permits particularly for her koi pond overflow system, gazebo wiring, and pesticide use. Wait, what? She stammered, backing away. You're in violation of 5 county codes, he said, and given the flooding risk, you'll be cited for improper stormwater management unless corrected. She started to cry. Real, desperate tears. The HOA board tried to rally behind her, but suddenly they weren't so confident. Turns out, Karen had pushed a lot of people too far. Over the next few weeks, petitions flew, signatures mounted, and finally Finalish was voted out as HOA president in a landslide. No more clipboard. No more wine cooler monologues. And the best part? The pump still runs every Thursday for testing. Karen sold her house 2 months later as is at a loss. So, who really got flooded? Poetic justice. Funny how a well meant to draw water ended up draining her entire empire. If you enjoyed this HOA drama soaked in karma, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more wild tales that end in lawsuits and lawn wreckage.